Welcome back, Kevin.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about you? How have things been going since we last met?
Not anything really different, I guess. It's still kind of the same issues on the court. I know we've talked about a few different things in the last meeting, but I'm kind of actually looking forward to how maybe a couple things to improve. I had a game last week down in Miami, a little hostile environment, but got to play the Miami Heat. We were winning for a while. It was a great game, and then LeBron and Dwayne Wade took over, and I wish I could have done something better. I wish I could have shot better. I got upset about that after that game because we had a chance to win, and we kind of dropped the ball in that one. So I don't know. It was upsetting. I haven't been the same since that, and that was last Monday. So I'm hoping to maybe gain some better. I don't know, gain some confidence, I guess. So I'm looking forward to our discussion.
All right, good. So it's good that you're coming in here and you're ready to just tackle whatever it is you think might help.
Let's do it.
So you think you're still dealing with just being stressed out,
Oh, yeah.
wanting to win and focusing so much on that expectation of you helping the team win.
Yeah, and I took it on myself that game because I, again, got more playing time this game, and I had some key shots down the stretch, and ball wouldn't go in.
Okay.
It just wouldn't go in.
All right, so last time we talked about this kind of stress, and I said that we would try some different mental skills techniques and see which ones work best for you,
Okay.
which ones maybe work better in different situations. I have a few that I'd like to try with you today.
Okay.
You're okay with this?
I'm
Does that
okay
sound
with
right?
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing that I kind of want to focus on is just relaxation, and I think you can use this at different times throughout the day,
Okay.
both practice and competition. That'll really help you reel in the stress, control it better, and
Okay.
maybe reduce it, hopefully. So it seems that it's not just the expectations that are causing you stress, but
Right.
it's the performances leading up to that expectation of success.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So I'm sure it's frustrating when you center your performance and your functioning and it revolves around that worry.
Right.
You're sitting in the game and the second you mess up, does that affect the rest of the game? Are you still focusing on that when you messed up?
Oh, I take it personally, and I take it probably too quickly. I have, I guess, trouble moving on. Certain mistakes, like in the third quarter, wide open three in the corner. It was a beautiful pass by a teammate. I missed it, and I think the fourth quarter was affected by that miss. So I kind of I do have troubles moving on inside the game, and obviously after the game, I've told you I've been stressed out off the court too. So those mistakes definitely have been affecting me, and I'm starting to realize that a little bit more.
Okay, so you're stressed before the game with your expectations. You're stressed in game when you start messing up.
It's different stress, but it's all definitely
right. Stressed after the game. And do you think that stress carries over into the next day's practice, the next week's game? Are you carrying that with you?
I kind of am, yeah, because it's tough to go to practice the next day and focus and act like you're just starting over, like it's still continuing the season. Like our record shows it. I mean, we're pushing for playoffs right now, and it's tough, and it's tough for me to move on. It really is. So I'm just saying, per game, I don't know how to put it, but yeah, my stresses will build up per game to practice. Obviously, we travel a lot, so I'm more of a quiet type off the court. I should probably be more open, like maybe just team building with my teammates, and just there's a lot of different things I could probably. I don't know. I take it personally, so I kind of shut down a little bit, and it affects me when I'm playing. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you mentioned you travel a lot.
Yeah.
These types of stress techniques that I'm about to teach you can greatly be utilized in that traveling. When you're in the hotel by yourself.
Okay.
On the bus rides, when you go into that quiet place,
Right.
instead of sitting there with these negative thoughts on your mind, you can use these techniques to change your mind processes a little bit. All right.
Cool.
So I just want to let you know, if you're uncomfortable at any point and don't want to continue on with the technique that we're trying, feel free to say so.
Okay.
And we will move on.
Okay.
I want you to feel comfortable doing them. I want you to feel comfortable with me instructing you through them.
Okay.
Just let me know. The first one that I'm going to focus on is just breathing, because a lot of psychological and physiological things can cause stress.
Okay.
And breathing, controlling your breathing, being aware of your breathing can really help that. All right. So your body's relaxation response is what we're trying to control.
Okay.
And that's, have you heard of the fight or flight response in stress?
Not exactly. Maybe from a No, let's explain it to me. I don't think I have.
It's just your body's, it's the immune system's reaction to real or perceived threat that you see. And so you see the game going downhill, you see that as a threat, you get stressed, your body's either going to run from it or it's going to try and fight it. And what we want is the relaxation response to kick in. So you respond to it in a different way. So you can use these before the game to kind of get yourself in the right mindset. You can use them in the middle of the game even if you want for a few seconds, step off to the side in a timeout. Or you can use it after the game depending on the outcome and what kind of stress you're trying to control. All right, so now we're going to get started with the first one. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. The first technique is one of the most common, and it's just breathing, and a lot of athletes use it. The first step is just becoming aware. The more aware you are of your breathing, the more effectively you can reduce your stress and enhance your performance. The first thing I want you to do is just get in a comfortable position. And then what I want to do is I'm going to sit here and simply talk you through a simple breathing exercise. So go ahead and close your eyes. Just try and tune out everything but my voice. Just take note of your normal breathing, what it feels like, where it's coming from. All right. Now, with your eyes closed, we're eliminating a lot of visual stimuli, and we're in a pretty quiet environment. This might not always be the case, but this way we can start your training with just knowing what to be aware of. So continue breathing normally and really focus in on full inhales and exhales. You can use a counting method if you'd like, counting 3, 4 on the inhale, 3 to 4 on the exhale. Now what I want you to do is inhale with what is called an abdominal breath or a deep belly breath. So a way to do this is put your hand on your stomach, and when you breathe in fully, you should feel your hand moving, and that's breathing out of your stomach. Continue with the deep inhales and exhales. This type of diaphragmatic breathing is one of the quickest and easiest breathing techniques to feel relaxed. So how would you describe how you're feeling right now as you continue to breathe?
More, I guess, reserved, more relaxed, because you're right, I'm not really focusing on anything except my breathing.
Good.
So it's, obviously, with my eyes closed, it's a lot easier. So I'm not tuning everything out.
Now every time you exhale, just focus on exhaling unnecessary thoughts, worrisome thoughts, stressful thoughts that are impairing your performances. So now you feel calm, a little calmer, a little more relaxed.
A little bit.
You could always, while doing this technique, check your heart rate and see if it's going down at all, see if it's becoming effective. Okay? All right, so you can open your eyes now. So that's just one very quick technique. You can do it for 30 seconds, a few minutes. There's no time limit on that technique. It's a great one to use during the performance to reduce stress if you're relaxed. As you were saying, you hit that you went to hit the 3-pointer and didn't go in, and you really let it affect yourself. So you could use this kind of breathing to, the next time out, take a step and just close your eyes real quick, take some breaths in, exhale all those negative thoughts about the missed shot, and start focusing on the next shot to come that you're going to make. All right? This type of breathing really helps you stay in the present, here and now. It brings you back in. It's, like I was just saying, it stops you from thinking about the missed shot 5 minutes ago and gets you back on, all right, where am I now? So it's just a really good technique, I think, for you to use during the game. Another breathing exercise that you can use, which might even be better before and after to deal with the stress, it's a more focused breathing, and it helps reduce your heart rate and release stress. And it helps your mind communicate with your body and letting your body know you're in a safe environment. The fight or flight response, it can go away. You can really click in that relaxation response. And the slower and more relaxed your breathing is with this, the more relaxed your muscles and mind become. So it'll slow down and balance out the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and really just get your body back in a balanced state, which is where your body is best relaxed. All right? So what I want you to do is take a deep breath in. You can close your eyes or keep them open for this one. And I want you to inhale for a count of 4 and release for a count of 4. And as you're breathing, notice the complete and deep relaxation of all your muscles. Now I want you to notice each muscle individually, from the top of your head, down your arms, down into your legs, down into your toes. And really try and just notice all the muscles that you're relaxing. And every breath that you take, you should feel them relaxing even more. What do your muscles feel like right now?
Very relaxed.
Okay. All right.
Especially when you told me to focus on my muscles when you relax, it helps.
Exactly. All right, so now you can see how this type of breathing really relaxes tensed muscles, can de-stress the mind, the body, both before a game you're getting into the right mindset and after a hectic game. Just bring your body back down real quick.
Right.
The more you practice these techniques, the easier and more reflexive they're going to come to you, and you're not going to have to think about them as much. So, a few games from now, you might find yourself deep belly breathing in a timeout, and you don't even know you're doing it.
Right.
It's already, your body just wants to de-stress.
Second nature, yeah, hopefully.
All right, great. So do those 2 breathing techniques sound like something you could work on and
Definitely.
you really want to utilize?
It'll be easier to work on them in the hotel room, and obviously maybe before and after the games. But I'll have to really focus. I'm going to try them, but in between quarters, I'll start with baby steps between quarters, and then I'll maybe, like you said, hopefully be able to do them by second nature every time out, or maybe even during a free throw when we're standing there on the line. But I'll start with baby steps between quarters in my next game. But
yeah, that's great.
I'll try. Okay.
You're just noticing all the situations that you could really benefit from it and
true.
Where you think it would help your performance. So
Right.
that's great. All right, now the next relaxation technique I want to run you through and see how you feel about it. It's called progressive muscle relaxation.
Okay.
And it sort of deals with what we just did, breathe deeping and relaxing the muscles, but this targets every muscle. And the technique is used to help you create a relaxed state by developing a sensitivity to your muscles, which is, as I was saying, just becoming aware of every single muscle, the muscles in your hands and your fingers, your legs, your calves, your face, all the muscles in your body. It has you alternately contract and release your muscles for a few seconds count for each one.
Okay.
So just to start, I'll walk you through it, and I'll use a cue word, which will cue you to tense your muscles, and I'll say now.
Okay.
And when I say now, you'll tense your muscles for about 5 seconds.
Okay.
And just squeeze as hard as you can, whatever muscle group we're focusing on.
Okay.
And then I'll say relax, and just completely let go of the muscle and
So
let it
just
relax.
Clench up. You're saying? Okay.
Exactly. All right. As we continue, I'll ask you to really try and pay attention to the tensing and the relaxing of each muscle. Try and feel what it feels like when it's tense, what it feels like when it's relaxed. When you relax it, pay attention to the heaviness.
Okay.
A sign of heaviness in your muscles is a good thing. It means your body's relaxing. So
Okay.
you want to feel that heaviness.
Okay.
Other than that, are you ready to begin?
Let's do it.
All right, first just take 3 big breaths in and exhale them. Now when I give the cue, we'll start with your feet.
Okay.
And just toes, feet, all of it, just tense it, all right? Ready?
Okay.
Now. And relax. And as we go through this, just keep focusing on your breathing as well.
Okay.
Always focus on the breathing. Now the next, focus on your calves.
Okay.
So now, tense. And relax. Now work your way up to your quads and hamstrings.
Okay.
Tense. And relax. You should feel your leg muscles getting heavier. How do they feel right now?
A little heavy.
Okay. All right, now we're just going to keep working our way up the body.
Okay.
Now we have at the abdomen area.
Okay.
Now. And relax. Now work your way up to your chest, shoulders, and back.
Okay.
What you can do here is just raise your shoulders all the way up to your ears.
Okay.
Just tense as hard as you can.
Okay.
Ready? Now. And relax. All the while keep focusing, not just on the tensing, but when you release, what everything feels like.
Okay.
All right, now your face.
Okay.
Just scrunch it up as much as you want, as tight as you want. Ready?
Okay.
Now. And relax. All right, now we'll go into your arms, your biceps. best way to do this is just kind of bring your arms up to your
Okay.
shoulders and clench them as tight as you can. Ready?
Okay.
Now. And relax. And then finally one with the hands.
Okay.
Just as you do with the feet, just clench them as if you have a pebble in your hand and you're squeezing it to try
Okay.
and break it. Ready? Now. And relax. Alright. Now normally, as you continue practicing this technique,
Uh-huh.
you can even individualize your muscles even further. I
Okay.
just kind of grouped them for a quick run through, but you can go toes, feet, calves, hamstrings, quads, and work your way all the way up.
Okay.
16 different kinds of muscle groups you could focus on. And you run, for now, about 2 rounds of it.
Okay.
On your own, you would
Individually.
individually, you would
Okay.
work your way up just as we did, as many individual muscles as you want.
Okay.
And when you finish, you'd go do it again.
Okay.
You know, just breathe, count in your head, 5 seconds, tense, relax.
Okay.
So how do you feel now after running through that briefly?
Surprisingly a little more relaxed, even though I clenched up and just, I think it's like a sign of stress and then no stress. So I
Right.
feel a little bit better.
So almost like you're releasing the stress that you built up with the tensing.
Exactly.
You're
yeah.
letting it go and saying it's not that important.
It's true.
Awesome. And with the breathing,
Uh-huh.
you
I
like
was
that
focusing,
technique?
yes. I was trying to focus on the breathing too. It's a little harder when it gets up to here, but yeah, when you clench up, but it's kind of a mental thing too. It's helping.
And
yeah,
that's what
focus
comes
on it,
with
yeah.
practice.
It's
So
true.
the more you practice it, just with the breathing, you know, all of a sudden it'll become second nature and
Right.
it'll be something you want to do every day.
Cool.
All right. So now that we've kind of dealt with the stress and how to relieve it a little bit with relaxation techniques, the second half of your issue that we talked about was the high expectations and not achieving those expectations. And I kind of want to reel that in, see if we can work on some mental skills techniques that might help you more specifically focus on some expectations that aren't so high, aren't so
Okay.
extreme, to build you up to that one.
Okay.
So the first and the biggest one, honestly, is goal setting.
Okay.
What do you think goal setting is?
I guess it could be personal goals or team goals. Maybe, obviously, we sit down before the season started, and our ultimate hierarchy goal is to win NBA championship. So it's always a goal. I think our step down from that was obviously we need to make the playoffs and try to get a good seed in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's a team goal for us. Would you want me to share a personal goal?
No, I mean, you're already on the right track
Okay.
by setting goals for yourself and
Right.
your performance in basketball, and you know you have performance and team, which is great.
Yeah.
It's been proven that athletes who set specific goals perform better than those who are just told to do your best or
Okay.
don't set goals at all. You know,
Okay.
just kind of going in blinded and do the best you can.
Right.
It's better to really have some specifics lined up for yourself that you want to achieve.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing to set goals for yourself and strive for them. It helps build self-efficacy, your sport confidence, you know, which all supplies your motivation, and so goals are really great. But if you're setting unrealistic goals or unachievable goals,
Uh-huh.
you kind of set yourself back. Instead, you want to focus on setting goals that are difficult enough to challenge you, but still realistic enough to accomplish.
Okay.
So you know, you have your expectation of winning the championship,
Right.
and that may be a little high right now. When
Yeah.
you're still in the beginning of the season, you know, we need to focus on the games ahead
Right.
to get you to that championship.
True.
So by doing this, I really think that you can redirect some of your focus away from the overall big picture that's distracting you from your individual game performances, and really just narrow in. So can you give me an example of a goal that you've set for yourself lately?
I would really like to be a starter. I come off the bench, usually second or third off the bench, and they always talk about like the sixth man of the year award, you know. But like I don't like that. I don't like to be known as the guy who comes off the bench. So I would like to be a starter, and that's been a goal of mine. I kind of take that personally to try to reach that goal. So it's that's one of my main. It's actually kind of my main goal right now. But
Okay, well that's great. What I want to point out with that goal
Uh-huh.
is it's what sometimes we refer to in sports psychology as an outcome goal.
Okay.
You know, it's down the road, it's in a big picture.
Okay.
You know, it's not something with quite as an immediate result.
Okay.
And so those aren't bad goals to set. They're great.
Yeah.
They give you the motivation, you
Right.
know, to keep working hard. But we could also focus more on setting some specific process and performance goals as well as those outcome goals, and I think that will help enhance your performance a little bit.
Okay.
So it all comes down to just balance with goal setting. And
Okay.
you don't want to focus too much on one when not the other. 50-50.
Okay.
So I just want to ask before I kind of tell you what they are, what do you think that performance goals are, and what do you think process goals are?
I guess performance goals is kind of like my personal stats on the court, maybe. 'Cause there's a lot on paper that goes, when you're an NBA player, it's your job, and if your numbers don't lie. So I mean, performance is, I guess, how well I play, how good I shoot. What was the other goal? A process goal.
Yeah, this one's a little harder.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the process goal was like maybe how well I'm shooting. Like maybe I guess my balance and footwork while I'm shooting. Maybe that's help me shoot better, because we always talk about footwork in practice. So it's and maybe like I've changed my shot a few times. So my process there is maybe a little. I don't know if I have specific process goals, but I guess that is.
Yeah, that's great. You are completely on the right track.
Okay.
What I'd like for you to notice is that performance goals really focus on improving something relative to your past performance. So you are totally on the right track. Your stats. Your stats reflect your past performance.
Sure.
So a performance goal would be something to improve those stats. So for example, you could improve your free throw percentage. So
right
what
now,
do you think your free throw percentage was in your last game?
It's below par for me, was 70%. I usually don't miss in practice. I shot. I think I was almost exactly 7 for 10 or 7 for 11 in my last game. And for me, it's unacceptable.
So you want to be more than that. So your performance goal you would set for yourself would be to just, like you said earlier, a baby step. Let's improve that from 70%. Let's get it up to 80 or 85.
Okay.
And that's something you can work on in practice, just shooting your free throws and getting better and working at that goal to increase the percentage. So that's a good performance goal.
Okay.
A process goal refers to the procedures that you engage in when you're performing.
Okay.
So in keeping with your free throws, your process goal might be how you, like as you were saying, your technique as you shoot, what your body's doing as you're shooting. And so maybe a process goal to think of is, let's just focus on your hands. So we don't want your eyes to wander as much, because that'll distract your brain a little bit. You can't focus on the free throw, so you're dribbling the ball. Continue focusing on your hands. When you catch the ball and position it, focus on your hands. Never let your eyes leave your hands until the follow through. And that can be a process goal you can work on, which in turn is going to help the performance goal. And as the performance goals get better and get accomplished, you work your way towards that outcome goal of being a starter. Improve your stats, improve your technique.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about it, because especially on away games like Miami, they have signs, they have posters, and I think that game I got a little distracted. I let the environment around me, the atmosphere, get to me, I guess. So I guess I never thought about keeping my head down ready until I was ready to shoot. So I appreciate that. I was like, because usually I'm dribbling and I'm kind of looking left or right maybe before I'm shooting, and then I'm not really focused on the rim, because I would like to. Maybe that's a good one. Dribble with my head down first, and then when I look up, I'm ready to shoot. So maybe I like that process goal.
Great.
The way you explained it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one, actually.
Just a small change of directing your focus onto one thing throughout that entire technique of shooting the free throw.
Right.
We can see some changes. We'll have to see. Try it in practice, see how it works in the game.
Okay.
When you come back again, we can alter it, figure something out.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Now, don't forget that goal setting can and should be done not just for the game, but set yourself goals for practice.
Okay.
Can you give me an example of a practice goal maybe that's a little different than something you'd want to do in the game?
Yeah, we do work on, obviously we'll run a lot of wind sprints. So my job is usually to try to get back on defense, and I guess I got pulled out of the game because I got burned down the court, and there's a lot of like transition defense that we try to work on, and I'm really focused on the ball. I really want the ball because I'm a shooter. I think this is something different that I should probably work on a little bit more in practice. Just my transition defense to get back. So that's goal of mine to kind of, I guess, I don't know how you really explain it, but get back on defense quicker maybe,
Right.
or just use smarter techniques to get back, because I'm just always kind of following where the ball is, and like I'm focused on offense, and I need to work on defense.
Okay.
That's what my coach told me.
So you're, thinking 2 steps ahead of where the in moment is now.
Yeah.
We're still on offense, but we're about to be on defense. Let me
Right.
work on getting back just a step quicker than everyone else. That's
Right.
that's a great process and performance goal, and
Right.
again, it'll help you achieve those outcome goals. I like to think of it as a staircase.
Okay.
So the top of the stairs is your outcome goal. It's being a starter. It's winning the championship. That's at the top, but you can't get to the top until you work your way up the stairs.
Okay.
So each step is a performance goal that you want to accomplish,
Okay.
want to tackle, want to achieve. So just set yourself, every time you complete one, you work your way up the steps. And now here's the next one. And eventually you'll get to the top of the staircase.
Okay.
And now another thing to think of with goal setting that's really helpful is keeping a journal or a logbook of them. So what you would do is you would write down the goals you want to achieve.
Okay.
Short and long term.
Okay.
Write them down, and then set yourself a time range for it. If it's a performance goal of increasing a free throw percentage, give yourself a week or 2. By the next 3 games, or by end of January type of thing.
Okay.
Give yourself a time limit, and when you achieve that goal, write it down in the book.
Okay.
And keep track. So then you can not only go back and see your progress and see what you've accomplished, what you want to work on next, what you haven't gotten to yet. That also will help your motivation.
Okay.
If you see yourself achieving these goals and you see it on paper, then you're going to be like, yeah, I can do it.
Awesome.
So what's the next goal? You're going to be motivated to just set more goals and
Okay.
keep working hard. So that's a good thing to do. So do you think, some people don't necessarily like journaling. What do you think about that?
I would give it a shot. I'm not opposed to trying to do things. So apparently, I guess anything I could change my attitude or my motivation. I think I would give it a shot. I would try it. I mean, obviously, if it didn't work, if we met again, I would tell you, let's try something different. But I'll try. I'll get a logbook.
That's great. I like the willingness to try something that you haven't done before.
Right.
Maybe it'll work. So.
Right.
So do you see kind of now the difference between the high expectation outcome goals you were setting and kind of the performance short range goals you kind of need to be setting to get there?
Yeah,
I think that difference.
I think just talking out loud is helping, because I think I put too much on just when can I be on the floor, when it's at the start of the game, when can I be a starter, and I think there might be little baby steps that I need to take. I never thought of it as a staircase, but it's a cool way to put it. And since I am such an offensive, such an offensive player in general, I think maybe breaking it down between performance and process goals, maybe working on my footwork to get back quicker on defense, maybe get a couple steps ahead of the guys, because I need to work on cheating back a little bit, because I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not going to brag, but my shot is one of the best in the league, I think. That's why I hope I can get there. But baby steps, I like that, because I put too much pressure on myself to be the best all the time. So maybe I'll use the logbook, try to work on it. But yeah, I think our discussion is helping, because I think I need to break it down a little bit better. So
good. I'm glad you see it as a baby step process, because you don't want to set something so out there that it seems unreachable. You want to think I can achieve this goal, and that's where the staircase.
My 3rd year in the league, I would expect to be a starter, but maybe I just need to still put in my time to get there. So
that's great. All right, so yeah, it's much more effective to start small, set reasonable, realistic goals, and with practice, and the more you achieve, the higher up you go on that staircase, and before you know it, you're going to be just accomplishing goals left and right. All right, so I really think that if we work together on setting those kinds of goals, you're not only going to see successful results that you desire, like becoming a starter, getting to the playoffs, winning the championship, but you're going to find yourself worrying less about that final outcome.
Okay.
You're going to be so focused on achieving that performance goal you set for yourself last week that your brain's not going to be bogged down with the worries about, if we lose this game, we're not making the playoffs. You're focusing just on that game in the present moment, which goes back to the breathing, keeping yourself mindful of the present moment, just being aware. So it all kind of starts to tie in together. You'll start to see that everything uses a little bit of everything else. So focusing on performance and process goals before and during a game, rather than worrying about, whether you did or didn't start, it's only going to facilitate your performance enhancement. So that, just don't worry if you didn't start or not, because that's not the goal right now. That's later. The goal right now is when I get in the game, I'm going to work on my free throw and increase that percentage that I wanted to increase. Sure. So you see how that can kind of get rid of such a faraway worry that's causing you stress that shouldn't.
Focus on something smaller, and then I like it. Yeah.
Okay. So now the next mental skill I want to kind of just briefly talk to you about. We can work on it more in another session. It's mental imagery, visualization. Do you have any ideas? Do you know what that is? Do you think you've ever done it?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. So before I describe it to you, I just have a little task for you to do.
Okay.
So I have this piece of string, which you can take, and I have just a piece of hardware, a bolt, which you also can take.
Okay.
And you're going to stick one end of the string through and bring the bolt down to the middle of the string and hold both ends, between your thumb and fourth finger, however you want to hold it.
Okay.
And it also might help, I'm not sure if you can reach the table, just set the elbow down to kind of stabilize your arm as you hold it.
Okay.
You can hold it with one hand, both ends together.
I got it.
Yeah.
Just like this?
Yep, and just kind of let it hang.
Okay.
And if you watch it for long enough, you'll see it start to move a little bit. And now what I want you to do, as you look at it, imagine the bolt spinning in a clockwise direction.
Okay.
Look at it and just in your mind, picture that bolt spinning clockwise. Do you see it kind of starting to spin a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I can see it, and see it.
Now try.
Like, I guess for pretend, is that what you're trying to get at? Like, I'm trying to visualize it spinning, but
see if holding the strings together in your hands as one. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you want to actually try to spin it a little bit?
Well, it should start on its own. Try and picture going counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Let's go this way.
See it sort of starting to move a little bit?
It is starting to move, okay.
Can you imagine it stopping and not moving at all? Picture that bolt not moving. You seeing it slow down?
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right, so you can set that down now. That was just kind of a way to show you a very brief way of how mental imagery works and how it can be effective.
Right.
So mental imagery is just exactly that, picturing something happening.
Right.
So in sport, it's picturing yourself making that free throw.
Right.
Picturing yourself running through the motions of shooting the free throw, from the dribble to the follow through.
Right.
So athletes who go through the demands of their sport or a related task in their minds before they actually execute the task, it helps reduce the expectations a little bit and make them seem a little less daunting, and it can actually enhance the performance because you've run through it and you've almost given your body, you've told your body what it's about to do before it's done it, so it's a little more prepared. And so the point of the string and the nut was just to kind of convince you that you can sort of control things with your mind. The actual workings behind it is your brain sends impulses to your muscles to tell it what to do. So as you sit here holding the string, your brain is sending the muscles in your fingertips a message, a synapse kind of neuron firing, saying that you want that string to move. And, that's how it starts to work.
I had to focus a little bit harder. At first, I was trying to focus and get it narrowed down, but I think it started to kind of work. It took a couple seconds, but
And so if you imagine yourself, before a game, you sit down and you start just picturing yourself at the free throw line, dribbling, follow through, making the free throw, dribbling, follow through, make the free throw.
Right.
Run through your mind the physical motions of your body doing that, and when athletes do these kinds of things, they do see performance enhancement. So mental imagery is a really great mental skills technique that we can work on another day.
Okay.
But it's one thing to think about as you're preparing for a game.
Right.
Or after a game, if you didn't do something right, spend the next few days of practice, outside of practice, visualizing yourself doing it right. You want to always visualize yourself being successful.
Okay.
You never want to visualize yourself not making the free throw. That's not going to help at all. So that's another technique you can work on. And I have one more for you today.
Okay.
I hope not wearing you out too much. We're
It's
almost
all right.
done.
You're fine.
This one is to work on the pressure that you place on yourself with those high expectations and all the goals you set.
Yeah.
It's what is referred to as self-talk.
Okay.
And goal setting can relate to self-talk if you think of your goals as positive and negative. So obviously goal setting should always be positive. Right, exactly. You want to focus on setting positive goals for yourself, such as improving a free throw percentage, not I need to stop missing free throws. That's a negative way to set the goal.
That's how I see it.
Right. Okay, so there you go. So the perfect example is you tell yourself, don't miss the free throw. That's a negative way to word your goal.
Well, I go up to the free throw line and sometimes envision a miss, and I don't want to say, let's not do that. But that's
Exactly.
I think that's weirdly how it's always been, is don't miss the free throw.
Exactly.
So.
And so in your mind, you're thinking, don't miss it, so you're telling your body to make it, when in fact you're really just kind
Visualize the miss.
You're visual. Yeah, exactly. You're visualizing a negative.
Yeah.
So try and flip-flop that and visualize, go up to that free throw line and say, I'm going to make this.
Right.
Visualize yourself making it. Those are positive goals, positive imagery. So those are really good techniques to use. Can you think of, well, I guess you just told me, like a negative goal that you set for yourself. Can you think of another one, other than free throws maybe?
Well, obviously I'm a three-point shooter. I think when specifically on a three-point shot, I tend to leave the shot short, and I don't get my knees in the shot, and I think we've been working on it. I mean, free throws is a little more controlled, but my three-point shot is very, I need to control my body when I catch the ball, and that's what I've tried to work on, but my footwork is still iffy. I'm trying to work with our assistant coach. He was a great three-point shooter. He's in the Hall of Fame, but he's been working with me. But it's negative. I always think of his three-point shot sometimes a negative because I go up and if I miss a few, and even though I hear on the sideline keep shooting, which is positive reinforcement, I'm always saying hesitation. I'll hesitate once I miss a few shots, and I need to
thinking about how you missed the previous one and telling yourself don't do that again.
Yeah.
Which I mean, right? You don't want to do it again, but instead of focusing on not doing it again, you want to focus on doing something right the next time to get the success you're looking for.
Right.
Okay. So by setting yourself positive goals, you're on the right track for positive self-talk. The more positive goals you set, the more likely you're going to sit there and have this internal dialogue with yourself about positively doing things and doing things successfully and visualizing yourself achieve. So some examples might be giving yourself instruction for executing a specific task to help focus your attention, or reinforcing a positive feeling you might have that enhances your performance and your self-worth and just feeling good about yourself.
Right.
If you did just make your last three three-pointers,
yeah.
then remind yourself of that. How did I feel when I shot that and made it? I felt great, and that's going to keep you on that right track. It's all about positivity.
I think the last time I made 3 in a row, I looked at my teammates and on the bench and we started laughing. So
and it's a great feeling.
That stood out in my mind as a cool feeling, right? Exactly.
Exactly. So you want to focus on those feelings when they occur. When a bad feeling occurs when you miss it, get rid of it. With the exhale and the breathing, exhale it out and it's gone.
Right.
Focus on the good. All right. Can you think of any other type of self-talk you might do in basketball, ones you might want to try other than, make this free throw?
Yeah, I really need to. I mean, even it's the little things like getting back on defense. I really need to tell myself to get back on defense, and I think it really helps the team. It slows the other team down on their transition. I think I need to work on getting maybe going back to the process goal, like maybe getting my first couple steps backwards instead of forward, so I can get an extra step on people.
Okay.
So it's the little things in that, but I think just maybe not wanting to be the ball, maybe sharing a little bit more. I'm kind of a selfish player, so if I shared a little bit more, maybe help my teammates out first, put them first, and then I'll maybe, I didn't think about it until now, but maybe it'll clear my head for shooting. And if I'm worried about more just like passing the ball, getting it to them, or next time I'm wide open for a 3 in the corner against Miami Heat, and I have to second nature and just shoot it. So
There you
little
go.
things I'm starting to realize just by talking about this stuff out loud. But
That's
I
great.
appreciate the help so far. But I think just talking it out loud has been helpful.
That's another technique. It's just feedback,
Right.
talking it out with somebody.
Right.
Venting. It's everyone always wants to vent. So
Right. I think my teammates
gets those feelings off of your chest.
Yeah, and like you said, I'm a quiet person. Maybe talking to my teammates. Like I usually don't talk during timeout, so maybe I'll talk a bit more too. So that's not really like a goal or a stat in the stat sheet, but I think I need to talk and communicate a little better. But
That's great.
so
Great. All right. Well, so self-talk not only can be used, as you were just saying, it doesn't have to be in the game telling yourself to complete a task. It can be after the games. Self-evaluate yourself
Okay.
and keep it positive. Don't
Right.
focus on the negative, but on the bus ride back to the hotel, internally self-evaluate your performance, what you want to work on in the next game, what you did well, where the good feelings came from, and
Cool.
that kind of thing.
do you log these?
You can.
Okay.
It's totally up to you.
Okay.
If you are finding yourself really enjoying the journaling and the logging of
Yeah.
your goals, why not log the self-evaluation? That's still a self-talk.
Okay.
It's you writing it on paper. And
Okay.
Yeah, so that's great. So
Cool.
you're coming up with your own mental skills techniques already.
Cool.
All right. So we've talked about a lot, practiced a lot of things. I don't expect you to go home and try them all right away. I
Yeah.
don't expect you to remember all the techniques.
Yeah.
But just take the ones that really stuck with you, practice them while you're gone. I'd like to just kind of ask one final question for you, if you don't mind one more. So through these sessions so far, I've noticed the recurring theme that you seem continually just frustrated
Yeah.
with performances. You aren't focusing on the good things you've done. You're focusing on the things you did wrong.
Right.
You're frustrated with your progress. You're still not a starter and you want to be, kind of thing. Where do you see your performance now? Where do you expect it to be?
I guess in the short term, I'm hoping to maybe get into, maybe this is just a personal thing, but get into like a little flow. Maybe actually getting like with the breathing, hopefully I can have between the next 3 games. It may not happen right away, but taking those baby steps to work on breathing, log a few good moments from the game and certain goals, and then maybe I just need to open up a little bit more. I think those little short-term goals of mine, I think if I can start doing those things, that'll lead towards the bigger goals. But I think I need to quit thinking about a championship. I just need to stop looking big picture and maybe accept the fact that I'm a starter. I think that's been something that you've helped me with, is accept where I am and just try to move forward with it, because I think with the last 2 years in the league, I haven't really been a happy player because I'm not starting. And
Right.
like I've been with the same team for 3 years out of college, but I think I just need to accept it, and it'll make myself feel better. But
That's
so
right.
hopefully my evaluation of myself is better the next time we meet, and I can tell you
Right.
I feel okay being second or third off the bench, but my playing time will go up by then. But we'll see. I think
That's great.
That's
Yeah. So just you always want to keep getting better. That's a big goal of yours as well. But focus on getting better in individual areas, and
Yes.
We don't want to forget about the long term. We want you to be a starter.
There.
That's what we're working
Yeah.
on. But it shouldn't be your sole focus right now. You want to focus on the things that are going to get you there, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden you'll be there and
Right.
you'll achieve that goal.
Right.
So that's exactly as you just described to me. You did wonderfully saying how some of these mental skills techniques are gonna get you on the right track and start
Right.
helping you and enhance that performance. The breathing, progressive muscle relaxations, it's really gonna help you hone in on the stress and help you with practice. And when you practice those techniques,
Yeah.
you're gonna learn how to better control the stress and suppress it. And I mean, stress is always in our lives. There are 1,001 triggers that cause us all stress in our
Right.
own lives, and I don't think you'll ever get rid of stress,
Mm-hmm.
but I do believe that these techniques will help you control it, be aware of it, kind of you dictate when it controls your life, if that makes sense.
Right.
All right, so goal setting, imagery, self-talk, just a few more concepts you can utilize to help reevaluate and reform your performance expectations into something a little more realistic, a little more achievable.
Right.
And also, at the same time, when you focus on that and not something so far out of reach, you see more immediate results. And when you see those immediate results, you're more motivated to keep
Yeah.
going. You're more motivated to achieve another goal and see
Yeah.
more results. So
Right.
I think that's where I see some frustration coming from you is you aren't seeing the results because your results are down the road.
Right.
I think you need to really work on some self-efficacy and motivation and see yourself, because I know you can achieve goals and you can see improvement, and immediate results will really help you with that.
Cool.
So that's a good thing with the logbook is you'll see that on paper and say, this is what I did.
Give it a try.
So what I'd like for you to do between now and then in our next session is just really try and practice those techniques, any of them that you want, as much as you can. Don't devote your life to it. We just started with it. Try to do the breathing 2 to 3 times a day. Maybe mix up when you do it. A minute here of deep belly breathing, and maybe before bed you focus on some really deep breathing, awareness of the breathing, and the progressive muscle relaxation.
Right.
See which times really benefit you the most in reducing your stress, because that's the key, is knowing when and where to use them so you get the most benefit out of it. So that'll be good to do. Start working on your goal setting logbook. See if it's something you like. Give it a week or two. See if writing things down help. And really think about some performance and process goals you want to work on, both in practice and the games. The first steps on the staircase we talked about. What are those first few steps you want to hop up onto to get to the outcome? Write those down. When you come in next time, we'll go over the logbook and kind of see where you're at, and we'll see if you're on the right track with it, or if maybe it's just not something for you. So does that sound good?
Sounds great. Yeah, I think this has been very helpful.
Good.
I really do appreciate the help, and you've helped me just kind of realize everything and little things that can help me down the road. It's very, very helpful. So.
Well, I'm glad to already see the progress and just this brief going over some ideas that we can work on.
I usually haven't opened up like this, so you're probably the first to actually get through. To me, a little bit, not all the way, but just work on it.
It's only session 2. We can continue to work on all these things. You never stop practicing them. There's never going to be a day where you're just a master at it and you don't need to do it anymore. There's lifelong things that you can work on, and some of them might even help you outside of basketball, which we can work on at another time, kind of thing.
For sure.
So as time goes on, more practice, I think you'll start to see the benefits. And other than that, just keep practicing, and thanks for coming in again.
No
It was
problem.
good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Hope you have a good day.